Hey guys, it's the Keto King here, and today we're going to be making a coconut loaf bread. Yep, yes, another bread recipe for my channel to add to the already amazing list of bread recipes I have. I'll put a link to my bread recipes playlist, which contains all of the bread recipes I have. Also, there's a link in the top right hand corner of your screen to my free book, which contains all of the best bread and bun recipes out there that are on my channel. So go take a look at that recipe book. This coconut bread recipe, however, really easy. It only includes 5 ingredients if you exclude the 1 teaspoon of salt we're adding in, and that's all you need for here. So the ingredients you'll need are some eggs, some psyllium husk, salt, coconut flour, some active dry yeast, and some honey. Now hang on, don't click off this video because you see that there's honey being used in here. The thing is, we're not using a ton of the honey. It's necessary to activate the yeast so it actually does its magic and works. And if you spread out the carbohydrates that we're going to be using that are coming from this honey over the entire loaf, it really only increases each slice of bread by maybe 1 to 1.5 grams of carbs. So don't panic about it. It's still going to be an absolutely keto-friendly bread. It's going to taste amazing and you guys are going to love it. Let's get right to it. Alright, so what we're going to do is you're going to grab yourself some warm water. We need 300 milliliters or 10.14 fluid ounces of warm water. I'm using a scale here. Make sure you measure things out so you get the accuracy of the ingredients 100%. Next, we're going to be using some honey. Again, don't freak out about this. We're using 1 tablespoon worth of honey in here. Add that into the warm water. And then we're going to be adding in some active dry yeast. Now, I've honestly never used this ingredient before. I had to go and look through the flour section and I just found that here. Now, again, the reason why we need to use this honey is to activate this yeast, which is going to give the bread a really nice rise and give us a more regular bread looking loaf. So let's give this a go. And now we require 1 packet of active dry yeast, and now this isn't mean the whole packet. A packet is a standard serving size, which is roughly 7 grams or 0.25 ounces of this active dry yeast. So I'm going to measure out this 7 grams on my scale here, just making sure I get the right amount. I actually did 8 grams here, but that should be good. Then grab yourself any utensil you have just to mix this all up. Incorporate the active dry yeast, the honey, and the warm water together. Hey, and while I'm mixing this up, let me know if you guys enjoyed this new camera angle from up top and looking down on the ingredients and the products that I'm using, or if you prefer the angle shooting it from the front looking towards me. Perhaps you guys like this a little better. I obviously want to do whatever you guys enjoy the most because I'm making these videos for you. So let me know in the comment section below if you're enjoying this new camera angle or if you preferred the older one. Alright, that looks good to me. It looks fully incorporated. Next, we're going to need 9 eggs. We're going to simply crack these into a bowl. Then we're going to beat these eggs. We just want to beat these eggs until they are foamy and increase in volume. I'm going to use a hand blender, but this took about a minute or so. So really, I think hand blending it with a whisk would just be absolutely ridiculous. So use a blender. As you can see, we got a nice bit of foam here. It expanded in terms of the volume, so we know it's done. Put this aside for a minute. Okay, grab yourself another bowl. We're going to add in psyllium husk. Now we're using whole psyllium husk here. If you need to know the difference between whole psyllium husk and ground psyllium husk, I have a great video on explaining all about psyllium husk, the differences between ground and whole, and the benefits. I'll put a link to that video in the top right hand corner of your screen now and in the description box below. We're going to be using 1.8 ounces of psyllium husk here. That's roughly 50 grams worth. We're then going to be adding in 3 ounces of coconut flour into this. That's roughly 85 grams. And then we're going to be adding in some salt or cocaine. You don't know, it could be either. But we're putting in roughly 1 teaspoon worth of salt, which should be around 5 grams. Just give that a quick mix just to make sure it's all completely combined. Okay, we're going to put this aside for just a minute. What we're going to do is bring back our egg mixture, bring back our yeast mixture, and you can already see there's some bubbles in here. Just give it a stir to make sure anything that's settled on the bottom is mixed in with the liquid. Simply add this yeast mixture into your egg mixture. Give that just a small little stir. Now would be a good time to set your oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. So then what we're going to do, you grab your flour mixture, and then all we're going to do is simply fold in this egg mixture into the flour. I'm missing quite a bit here, but just pour some egg in and simply fold in the flour onto the egg like this, and then just repeat the process until you're done. I've probably been a little hasty here and doing it too quickly, but just take your time, do it step by step, folding it in. I'm just going to transfer it all into the big bowl, so I should have used the containers the other way around. Now also, don't stress out when you're looking at your dough like this and going, wow, this is fairly liquid. What's going on here? This can't possibly work. Well, the psyllium husk takes a little bit of time to actually work its magic in thickening up and binding all of the ingredients together. So over time, this is going to get really thick and more of a dough-like texture. So don't panic and then add more flour. Just stick to the ingredients as they are. This is a tried and tested recipe. You can already see just in literally less than a minute, this is getting much thicker. Then we're going to grab ourselves a bread tin. This one is 9 inch by 5 inch by 3 inch or 23.5 centimeters by 13.2 by 7 centimeters. But anything around that size will work. They all should come in fairly standard sizes, so I wouldn't stress too much about that. Then what you're going to do is grab your mixture, line the tin with some parchment paper or some baking paper, and then add your mixture in. As you can already see, look how much thicker this has become. And then you just want to smooth out and flatten out the bread into all of the corners of the baking tin, of the bread tin. And this is what our loaf looks like once we have put in the dough inside. I like to just cut away the excess parchment paper on the sides. And then you're going to bomb this in the oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit for 60 minutes. So after 60 minutes, this looks amazing to me. As you can see here, it's got a good rise on it. You can see a very nice color on the top as well. So we're going to let this fully cool before we take it out and slice it up. Alright, so this is what it turned out like after the 60 minutes and letting it fully cool down. Just a slight little dent at the top. That's not anything that's going to affect the bread. Really nice bottom. Maybe I did it a few minutes too long, but I think it's still going to taste really good. So let's give it a cut. Oh, and look at that. Doesn't that look good? I mean, that's really good for the inside of the bread. The texture feels great on the inside. Outside's got this lovely colored crust, which to me looks like a normal bread, a regular bread. So this looks great to me, but it's all gonna come down to the taste test. So let's give it a go. This is really good. Now, in terms of the flavor, you can get a slight hint of the coconut, obviously, because we use coconut flour as the main ingredient here. The texture is wonderful, and similar to most of the other keto breads I have, it's a spongy-ish texture in the middle. Obviously, it's not a perfect replica of the regular bread, but it's an amazing substitute here. I'm gonna try and toast one of these pieces and see how it goes, but this is absolutely delicious as a bread. One of the best keto bread recipes that I've done for eating it just as a bread. A lot of the bread recipes need to be toasted because they're just not great eating them on their own before being toasted. But this is really good. I could see this being used for actual keto sandwiches. And you know, that crust is actually a really nice texture. It's nice and firm. It gives you that true crust feeling. I'm gonna go and try and pop this piece in the toaster and see how it comes out. Alright, so here's the piece of toast coming out of the toaster. Now, I think it toasts wonderfully, but the problem is here, as I said, with this loaf, I think I did this a few minutes too long, giving it too much of a brown texture. I think for the bread, it's absolutely perfect. But if you're gonna be toasting it now, to get a good crunch on it with the toast, it actually starts burning the top of the bread. As you can see, it's gone more of a black color than the brown. So my recommendation would be to do this for slightly less than the 60 minutes I recommend it, but obviously ovens vary. You'll just have to check it as it goes. You just want it to have a full rise in it and a good brown color on the top. But nevertheless, I'm gonna try out this toast. And this is where these keto breads are just ridiculously good, is once they're toasted. And this toasts amazingly, takes away any coconut flavor at all, even though the coconut flavor with eating it just as bread is very, very light. I promise you can hardly taste it, but this completely takes it away. And this will go with absolutely everything, from savory to sweet. Really, don't be put off by the coconut. It doesn't taste like coconut. It doesn't lend itself to something sweet or something savory. It's really just a bread that can go with anything. You can put on a bit of natural peanut butter like this, and oh, this is gonna be good. Guys, I've tried a ton of bread recipes. I'm endorsing this one. This is really good. It's an amazing bread texture for an inside. This is gonna be really versatile. For those of you trying to avoid any nut flours, this is perfect. We just got the coconut flour here. Again, as I always recommend with these breads, I cut them up into slices, put them in a Ziploc bag, bomb them in the freezer. Then what we do whenever you need a piece of bread or toast, take them out the freezer, pop it in the toaster, and in a minute or two, you've got yourself a beautiful piece of keto toast ready for you to devour. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss on any new recipes from my channel. And let me know what you think about this keto bread in the comments section. I really love chatting to you guys. And as always, keep it keto.